Hello everyone, this is Shanti. In last lecture, we learn about the basic concept of inheritance and definition. That is, what is meant by inheritance, then what are the different types of inheritance, and then we deeply discuss about the first type, that is basic type of inheritance, that is single inheritance. In today's lecture, we discuss about the next type of inheritance, that is multiple inheritance. We already clear the concept of single inheritance. Single inheritance means one derived class has only one base class, means one derived class and only one base class. Here the second type is multiple inheritance. In multiple inheritance, there are multiple base classes and single derived class. In multiple inheritance, there are multiple base classes and single derived classes available. In this type of inheritance, the single derived class may inherit from two or more than two base classes. Means in multiple inheritance, there are multiple or more than one base classes are present and single derived class is present. Check the example of multiple inheritance. Check the diagram. Here A and B both are base classes. Both are base classes of derived class C. Means C having two base classes. One is A base class and another one is B base class. For example, we already know that the inheritance means the properties of parent class inherited into the child class. मीन्स जैसे आपके पेरेंट्स के प्रॉपर्टीज आप में आ जाते हैं, राइट. सपोज आप में सिर्फ आपके पापा के प्रॉपर्टीज अगर इनहेरिट हो रहे हैं, दैट इज सिंगल इनहेरिटेंस. मतलब एक ही पेरेंट के प्रॉपर्टीज आप में इनहेरिट हो रहे हैं, दैट इज सिंगल इनहेरिटेंस. बट कभी कभी हम बोलते हैं कि ऐसे कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो मम्मी जो करती है वैसे ही आप कर रहे हैं. कुछ चीज़ें जो है वो आपके पापा की तरह आप बिहेव कर रहे हैं या दिख रहे हैं, या कुछ भी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स या प्रॉपर्टीज आपके पापा के आए हैं, मतलब दोनों के थोड़े थोड़े आए हुए. तो वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, बोथ पेरेंट क्लास, मतलब मोर देन वन पेरेंट क्लास एंड सिंगल derived class, that is multiple inheritance. Now check the syntax of multiple inheritance. Here more than one base classes means the name of base class are A and B. Check the syntax. Class A, this is first base class, and second one is class B. The class end with always semicolon, means curly bracket complete and semicolon. After that derived class name is C. Then access specifier base class name, comma access specifier, sorry, here the derived class name is B, not A and B na. So here one mistake is there, access specifier class B. Okay, then open bracket body of the derived class, close bracket and semicolon. Class termination compulsory, or class end compulsory with semicolon. Okay, now here we discuss one example. Class A having data member X, then using member function we take the input for X variable or X data member. Then class completed with semicolon. The next base class is class B. Then integer Y, that is Y is the data member of the class B, and get Y, with the help of get Y member function we take input for Y data member. Then class B completed. After the completion of both base classes, here the third class, that is the derived class, class C. Then as per the syntax, then derived class implementation, class C colon, then access specifier public A, that is base class A, then access specifier public base class B. C is a derived class from class A and class B. ये comment है आपका, just for your understanding. Next, public void sum. Here we perform the sum of the data members or the values which we will receive from both the base classes, because X is a data member of class A and Y is a data member of class B. Here in derived class C, we access the both data member X and Y directly. We access the data members of base class A and B, data members X and Y, both are the data members of the class A and B respectively, access directly because X is the data member of the class A declared in public section and Y is the data member of class B which is also declared in public section, and the data members and member function which are declared in the public section of the class are directly accessible anywhere in the program. This sentence is very important. I repeat it again. The data member and member function which are declared in public section or declared as a public are directly accessible anywhere in the program. So here we access the X and Y, both data members of the class A and B, we access directly in derived class function. Derived class function name is sum. Okay. Here we perform the inheritance. Inherit means the properties of base class A, that is property means data members, otherwise member function. Here we use the class A's property, that is data member X, and class B's property, that is data member Y, in derived class C to perform the addition. Means here we perform the inheritance, inherit or use the properties of both base classes. After that, main function, here we create. In inheritance, we always create the object of which class? Derived class. Don't create the object of base class. Then with the help of object of the derived class, access or execute all the functions of all the classes, that is base class and derived class. That is object 1 dot get X. Get X is the function of class A. Then get Y is the function of class B, and sum is the function of class C, that is derived class. Check here, X, get Y and sum. All these, get X is a data member function of the base class A and which is declared in public section of the class A. That's why we directly access with the help of object in main. Get Y is also declared in defined in a public section. So we access it in main directly. Then sum is also a member function of the class C which is declared in also public section. So here we access in main function directly. If any one of the function is declared as a protected, otherwise private, then it can't be accessed directly in the main function. Other than public, we use private or protected access specifier, then these functions we can't access in main function directly. So for member function, always use the public access specifier. If you want to implement properly, then member function always declared or defined in public section of the program or class. That's it. Then third type is hierarchical inheritance, which is exactly opposite to our previous inheritance. That is multiple inheritance, because we already learned that in multiple inheritance there are multiple base classes and single derived class. But in hierarchical inheritance there is single base class and more than one or multiple derived classes. चेक करो आप डायग्राम में मल्टीपल इनहेरिटेंस के एग्जैक्टली अपोजिट आपका क्या है, हायरार्किकल इनहेरिटेंस. इन हायरार्किकल इनहेरिटेंस देयर इज अ सिंगल बेस क्लास and multiple or more than one derived class is present. Here is a single base class, that is A, and three derived classes, that is B, C, D. Means in all the three derived classes the properties of base class A are inherited. Means check the, now check the syntax of hierarchical inheritance. Here single base class, that is class A, base class declared using class keyword, then open bracket body of the class A, then close bracket and class end with semicolon. After that derived class B colon, the base class for derived class B is A, that is access specifier, that may be public, private or protected access specifier, then base class name, that is A. Then body of the base class, B class, derived class B completed with semicolon, then next derived class, that is C, then colon access specifier, base class name A, then body of the derived class C completed, then same for class D. Here single base class and more than one derived class are present. Then simple example, class A, single base class A having data members X and Y which are declared in public section of the class. Then member function also defined inside the class in public section. Then here we take the input for X and Y with the help of cin, that is input function, console input. Cin means console input and cout means console output, to display the output or to display the message. And cin is the function similar to the scanf function in C programming to take the input from the user. After that class B inherit the properties from the base class A. That's why here we write colon, then access specifier public and A. B is derived from class base, that is A class. Then here we perform the product of the X and Y in member function of the class B. Member function name is product. X into Y. X and Y are directly accessible in class B because both are declared in base class publicly. And public member of the base class, public members of the base class directly accessible in derived class or anywhere in the program. Then next derived class is class C, public A. Then public void sum. Here we perform the addition of data members of the base class, that is X plus Y. Then how many derived classes are present here? Two derived classes, that is B and C. And in inheritance we always create the object of derived class. So here we create the object of both derived class, that is class B and class C. How to create the object? We already learn in second chapter, that is how to create the object with the help of class name and object name. Here class name is B and object name is obj1. For class C, create the object with the help of class name, that is C, and then object name obj2. You give any name to your object or class object. Then X is the function of the class. Now your base class function, that is get data function, is accessible in class B also, in also class C. Okay, with the help of, check here, get data is the function of class A, that is base class, so it is accessible by the object 1. Then obj1 is the object of class B, so check in a class B's own member function is product, own member function is product. So here we access the product function with the help of class B's object, that is obj1. Now check here, the sum is the function, member function of class C. Sum is the member function of class C, and there is no any relationship between class C and class B. I repeat it again, there is no any relationship between class C and class B. That's why we can't access the sum function with the help of class B's object. क्लास सी और क्लास बी में कोई रिलेशनशिप नहीं है, तो क्लास बी के ऑब्जेक्ट के थ्रू हम क्लास सी का फंक्शन एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते, इसीलिए यहाँ पे हमने नहीं लिखा है. ओके, सो हियर वी कांट एक्सेस द, और वी कांट राइट द obj डॉट सम फंक्शन. दिस इज completely wrong. Then with the help of obj2 means object of class C, obj2 dot get data, obj2 dot get data function is accessible by obj2 means C, because A is a base class for class C, so A's function is accessible with the help of object of class C, that is obj dot get data, and then class C's function, that is obj dot sum. Here our program is completed. Thank you. In next lecture we discuss about the next type of inheritance, that is multi-level inheritance.